Welcome back to my knitting podcast. Oh wait, it's a crochet podcast. Welcome back to my crochet podcast. It's been a very hectic 3 weeks or so, as in I've gotten a lot of crocheting done, but almost all of it was gift crochet items for my family that I've now mailed off, and so they're all off my plate, and it's a huge relief, and I've been able to focus on the works in progress that I already had waiting from before I started focusing on the gifts, and I've gotten a lot of progress on those now. So, well, the first finished object that I have, the only finished object that I have, because I've just been working on various projects, and so everything's taking a little bit slower than usual. But my finished object for now is a Christmas tree skirt that I made because I'm in a new apartment, a new country, and I'm able to decorate for Christmas, like, properly, all the way out for the first time in my life. And so I bought a Christmas tree. It's artificial, controversial, I know, but I just thought that it was a better investment. And to be honest, I don't have access to a car right now, so it wasn't really feasible for me to transport a live Christmas tree somehow. So anyway, and I got Christmas tree ornaments from, actually I was quite thrifty about it. I got some baubles from the thrift store, and then I got like a ribbon, like a skein of ribbon. I don't know how you say that. I got a thing of ribbon. This was my mom's idea, actually. And I cut it into pieces and I tied little red bows around the tree, and I think it looks super cute now. But after I did all that, I still felt like the tree was missing something. It was incomplete somehow. So I made a Christmas tree skirt. And I thought that this would be super easy because crochet really lends itself to a very vintage 70s, 80s feeling, Those basic crochet stitches and textures are very reminiscent of that because that's when it was very popular. And so I thought that was perfect for Christmas because I want a nice nostalgic vibe in my home in the festive season. And so, yeah, I just really leaned very heavily into those textures that I don't normally do. And so here's how it came out. And I tried to make it a sort of star shape. You can see it has 5 corners. The problem is this would have been perfect if it was square, as like it would lay perfectly flat. Right now it doesn't lay perfectly flat. Now, to be honest, that's fine because it's laying over the legs of the Christmas tree, which are sort of at an angle. So the fact that it's a bit warped doesn't look bad. I think it looks kind of nice. Like, it adds some texture around the bottom of the tree. I don't know, I think it looks fine. But if I were, like my sister said that I should make one for her, and if I were to do that, I would probably make it square because it just looks more correct. I mean, this is obviously not what you would get in a store if you bought a Christmas tree skirt. But anyway, I think it adds a lot of nostalgic sort of energy, and I think it really completes the Christmas tree because I have the red ribbon, as I already said, on a green Christmas tree, and so it really ties in those colors. The other great thing about this project is I was able to do it, well, I had to buy 1 ball of white yarn, and I used exactly 1 ball. Like, I really didn't have any scraps left over, and I kind of just was gonna keep going until I ran out anyway. And so that just ended up perfect. And I was able to use scraps of green and red from Christmas gifts that I made for my family members. So I really didn't spend any money on this at all. I just paid $2.50 for the 1 ball of white acrylic yarn. And yeah, I did go for acrylic because I don't think my Christmas tree is going to be too picky about about what fabrics I'm using on it. Yeah, but I think it came out really nice, actually, and since I made it, I haven't felt a lack of festivity at all. Like, before it was kind of bothering me that the Christmas tree looked kind of bare, and I don't know, there was just something missing, and this truly did perfectly fix my problem. So I'm very happy with this. And I would recommend to anybody else, I mean, you could very easily figure this pattern out because it's just those granny stitches with 5 increase points, evenly distributed. And I did, 4 rows of white, then 2 green, 2 white, 2 red, 2 white, 2 green, 2 white, 2 red, 2 white. Coming off of a circle in the center, which was 30 stitches. So 30 stitches for this center loop, and then just go from there if you're interested in making one for yourself. But as I already said, it doesn't lay perfectly flat. There's too many increases. It should just have 4 increase points. Also, to attach it, because obviously there needs to be an opening at one point to allow it to go around the tree, I just have made 2 little slip stitch ribbons in green, and I just tied around the 2 green stripes to keep it together, and that's worked fine. I think if you had small children or pets, they might fiddle with it and that might not hold it well enough. You might need more than 2, I don't know, but for me and my purposes, this has worked out just fine. Now moving on to the project that I'm most excited about at the moment, that I've been working on quite feverishly, is this sweater, which I've shown before at various levels of doneness, and now it's still not done, but you can really get a sense of what it's going to look like. I hope that it looks good on camera. I can't see. To be honest, this neck is too big. It's gonna be falling off my shoulders when I wear it. And that's just something I've had to accept because there's nothing I can do about it at this point. Unless I wanted to go back and redo the whole thing. Because the problem comes from these panels that I made at the beginning. The ribbed panels. Anyway, if you haven't seen it before, I have these ribbed panels at the front and back. I have a slight V neckline. This is inspired by a certain commercially made top that I saw on Pinterest, and I was actually able to replicate some aspects of it amazingly well, like this neckline, these crochet detailing, it looks exactly like it did on the commercial top. I mean, because it was crocheted, and that's why I was inspired to make my own version of it. And yeah, it just looks perfect and I love it. Now, I was originally planning to do the sleeves in ribbing. However, they're inset sleeves. And I've made inset sleeves before, but I've only ever done it from the top down. If I were to do ribbing, I would have to do it, around. I would have to work around the arm, crocheting the whole length of the arm the whole time. And I knew that it would be possible to do an inset sleeve that way. I've never done it, and I was putting it off for ages. I didn't want to work on it because I knew that it would be so much work to figure out how to do it. And I was thinking that I want to work on this project because I want to get through my whips right now. So I should just do it. And if doing the project means doing it in a different way, then let's do it in a different way. And so what I ended up doing is, as you can see, continuing the lace onto the arms. The same lace motifs that were on the neckline. I did add a couple, and then I'm just repeating it. So you can kind of see, I think it comes out on camera, it looks a little bit stripy, and that's because it's just repeating these same motifs. But I did do an inset sleeve, as I wanted, and what I'm planning to do now is I'm not going to do any decreases along the length of the arm, and then I'm just going to cinch it in and do a ribbed cuff in this same ribbing. So that'll bring sort of the continuity. Of course it already is contiguous because it has this same lace as it's on the neckline, but anyway, I think it's actually going to turn out really pretty. And the reason why I'm super excited about this now is because as I've gotten quite far in the arm, and I've gotten a feel of how it's really going to look with the lace, I think it's going to look super festive and Christmassy. Like, because I had seen, okay, there's this one sweater that I've seen, and I'm sorry I don't know the designer, but it's called the Holly sweater. And it's a round yoke crochet sweater with just some like lace detailing along the yoke, I think. Honestly, I don't super remember how it looks, but I really liked that sweater, and I don't know if it's just the name, but it really felt like a Christmas sweater to me, and so I was kind of inspired by the idea of making a Christmas sweater, but I didn't think that it was going to happen this year. I didn't think that I would have time or anything like that. But it just kind of happened by accident, and I'm super happy with that, and so now I do definitely want this to be done by Christmas, and hopefully then I can wear it for the holiday. We'll see what ends up happening with it, but to be honest, with the rate that I'm working on it, I don't think it'll be a problem at all. The only thing that I'm concerned about is that I'm making this in a 100% alpaca yarn. It is Drops Alpaca. And so I've heard that it will stretch a lot, but to be honest with you, I also heard the same thing about Drops Merino, and I yesterday blocked my sweater, which is in Drops Big Merino, and it doesn't look like it's stretched at all. So I don't know if these things don't necessarily hold true for crochet in the same way, just because crochet has less stretch to it naturally. Let's hope that's the case, but like I already said, this is already quite big on me. I mean, it's wearable, but it will be sliding off my shoulders the whole time, which is something that I am willing to accept. But if it gets much bigger, like if it stretches much more, I don't know if that's going to be doable. The other thing about this sweater is I was also feeling quite demotivated about it for a while. Not just because of the sleeves, but because the fit was quite, like, I don't know, a bit unflattering. Just because, I don't know, it's a rib, but it's quite large, so it doesn't really hug anywhere. It looks kind of like, it made me look quite square, okay? Well, what I ended up doing, I just thought I would try making a little like belt, kind of. Can you see it? I just made a slip stitch ribbon and then I tied it through. Every 6 rows of ribbing I would, put it inside out, sewed it through, and then I'm going to have it tie in a bow at the back. And to be honest, that has done more than anything in making this top feel exciting to me again, because now it looks really good. And I know that it's going to be a super cute top if I can just get it done, and if it, God willing, doesn't stretch anymore. The one thing about the inset sleeves is I'm not an expert, and to be honest with you, like I said, I was feeling super unmotivated, then all of a sudden I was like, okay, I have to work on it. So I was just plowing through. I didn't think very hard about what I was doing, and I didn't even bother to Google how to do an inset sleeve again, because I was like, well, I did it once before, and I kind of think I remember how to do it, so let's just go with it. Let's just go from there. It worked pretty well. I mean, when I try it on, it looks pretty fine. But when I look at it when it's not on me, there's a very wobbly seam here, which I think comes from varying levels of tightness when I was attaching this, when I was doing the increases onto the sleeve. I hope that makes sense. I don't really know how to describe it, but so I'm hoping that there won't be a lump sticking out here, but it looks like there might be. But when I try it on, I don't really see it, so I'm hoping that it's fine, because it's just such a large sleeve that it'll kind of cover everything. Any lumps and bumps will just look like, yeah, it's a big chunky sleeve. I want it to be quite loose and then have that sudden tightness at the cuff, which will make it sort of not like a balloon sleeve, but kind of a balloon sleeve, I think that'll add also to the Christmassiness and also just an extra exciting detail, because the color is quite boring to me. I like the color, obviously I bought it, but it's not anything exciting, and so by putting a lot of exciting details, I think it's gonna make it a beautiful piece that people will maybe comment on. But it can never really look crazy, or like there's no amount of detail that I could put on your hair that would make it look like, whoa, what are you gonna wear that with, you know? Because the color is so neutral that it's always gonna look nice and wearable. The other thing is, and I would recommend this, to be honest, if you ever try to do an inset sleeve, is I did the sleeve caps at the same time until they went into the round. Because it's hard to remember exactly where you put increases, how many increases, where you attached everything. So I decided to do it just at the same time so that I wouldn't have to go and decipher my own work later to do the second sleeve. And then I just stopped there, and I am going to work on this sleeve until I finish it. Make sure it looks good, and then I'll do the same thing on the other side. Then it'll be easy because I'm just doing the same thing in the round, and I know I'm not even doing any decreases, so that's not going to be a problem at all. Yeah, but I love this lace, and I don't think it looks super grandma-ish. Maybe you'll disagree. That was a concern that I had. To be honest, it doesn't really come out very well on camera. You can't see all the details. Because I do quite many different stitch patterns. I guess you can see, yeah. Anyway. And it's really fun to make because I like every row you get to do a different stitch pattern and try something different. And I think that I'm definitely going to use some of these again later in another sweater. Just because I've really enjoyed the process, and also I really like how some of them look. I mean, I like how all of them look, but some of them really have stood out to me more than others. Yeah, so then, oh, by the way, I'm making that sweater. I feel like I've talked about this sweater forever. I'm making that sweater on a 3mm crochet hook. This is the smallest hook that I've ever used. It's the first time I've ever used it. I love it. I will be making more sweaters on this exact crochet hook. Also, this is my first ever hook that has this like rubber grip, which makes it so much more comfortable. Like, it's unbelievable. It's the way that I've been living before. It's hard to even imagine now. Yeah, so this crochet hook is just amazing, and I love using the thin fingering weight yarn, the Drops Alpaca, and I have Drops Flora that I'm waiting to use next. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish 3 tops this year, especially if the Drops Flora one I haven't started yet, but that's my goal. My ultimate goal would be to finish these 2 whips that I have, plus a blouse with Drops Flora on this 3mm crochet hook. Probably not going to happen, but we'll see. I'm hopeful. Alright, my next and final whip that I have to show you is something that I talked about before, but I haven't shown before because I just started it in the past few weeks. It is inspired by the ikoxun, and I'm so sorry, I truly have no idea how it's supposed to be pronounced. Ikoxun? Ikoxun. I have no idea. Her off-the-shoulder sweater. Now I've decided to do it in this truly strangest way possible. Truly, it's so strange. I don't know why I did it this way at this point. But I do think it was for the best because it ended up opening some doors for me that I didn't even realize when I was planning this project. So, I'm going to try to show it to you in a way that it'll make sense what I'm showing you. But it's going to be hard because this is the project so far. Okay. It's made with a dark blue Drops Charisma. Drops Charisma yarn is the base, main color, I guess. Well, it's the only color. I don't know how to say this. And then I'm using this mohair. It's a color changing, but it has long color changes. Mohair, this is how it looks like in the ball. It's Concept by Katya. I think it's discontinued. Anyway, it's discontinued at the store that I bought it from, but I only bought 2 balls of it, and that's not enough for this sweater, but it's enough what I ended up doing is I'm doing it for the front panel, and I'm doing it for this part that goes around the whole top. You know, the folded part. And that's gonna bring enough color in, I think. The reason why I'm doing it for the front panel is because my plan is I'm not sewing the folded part at the front. And so it'll sort of be open like this. I don't know how well you can see. This is the front panel, so you'll still be able to see the front panel all the way, and that's why I wanted to use the mohair for that. Then we have the arm section, and then I'm going to add a sleeve to that. So what I have right now is I have half of the front panel and half of the back panel. I have a bit more than half of the back panel, but here we go. This is, my off-the-shoulder sweater. This is the shoulder section, and it's gonna get, obviously, an arm sewn onto it. I like this sweater, and I was obviously really inspired to make it when I saw ikoxun's version, and I thought it would be super easy, and it will be pretty easy. I'm not sure how wearable it's gonna be for me, to be honest with you, because it's strapless. So that's just something to consider, and I feel like I'll look like a early 2000s fashion mogul if I wear this under like a turtleneck. I mean, over a turtleneck. So I don't know if that's really a look that I can pull off. I will try it. I will most definitely try it. Anyway, yeah, so maybe it'll just be something that I wear, I don't know, around. But I like it. I think it'll be beautiful. And the thing that I'm really excited for, here's the thing. I don't know why I decided to do it this way, where I'm making a front panel and a back panel continuous with the folded part, and then I'm doing the arm separately. The other thing that I'm doing separately is like the side panel, because this front panel and back panel will not be like big enough to be the whole length of it, because I don't want the arm coming from here. Anyway, so I'm doing a separate side panel as well. Well, it's not gonna be separate. I'm gonna crochet it onto these pieces, and so I won't have to seam anything, which is nice. But the benefit is that with that, I'm able to make a diamond-shaped cutout around my waist, and then I'm gonna sew that together. So that's gonna allow me to add some waist shaping, hopefully. This is something I've never done before. It's just an idea that I had, and it really excited me because I do want waist shaping in this piece. I don't like to wear sweaters that are frumpy. If they're frumpy, to be honest with you, I'm not gonna wear them. Even this one, oh my gosh, should I have mentioned? I'm wearing my Parthenon sweater in black. I'm noticing how difficult it is to see dark objects on camera. Yeah, it's not even black, it's actually like a charcoal gray, but it looks as black as night on camera. Anyway, yeah, it's not frumpy, but it's very thick fabric, and so it makes me feel a little bit frumpy. So this one doesn't even get as much wear as it should. And so yeah, anything that I can add waist shaping to or something like that is gonna make it more wearable for me. And so yeah, I'm really excited that I'll be able to do that. I'm excited to try it, and hopefully it works. This idea of having a diamond cutout, but it seems right in my head. I imagine that was how it would work. My only concern is that sewing it together will make it too sharp of an edge or something like that. I don't know. Time is the only thing that will tell if that works or not. Now, let me see if I can show you the color changes in the mohair. Yeah, you can see. I think that looks really gorgeous. That's really exciting to me. And considering, yeah, to me it looks kind of like an oil spill in a good way. I love that sort of look, and it sort of feels, I don't know, natural to me. I was concerned that the color changes would look too loud, and then I didn't know how much I would wear it. But this is very beautiful, I think. This kind of subtle color changes I'm really enjoying, and I hope that it comes out really good, and then I'll be able to get a lot of wear out of it. We'll see. Because I'm currently feeling, honestly, like when I get dressed every day, I'm like, I need these projects to be done already. All of my ideas, because I feel like I don't have any warm sweaters that I enjoy wearing. I mean, I have a few, but I feel like I'm just constantly in a cycle with the same, like, 2 or 3 sweaters every day. And as you can see, it's just completely washed out, but that's because it pretty much does look like that. I'm living in Finland, and it's completely snowy, covered in snow, freezing cold outside. Well below freezing cold outside. And yeah, it's very hard for me to do anything outside, let alone if I don't have proper clothes, a very warm sweater on to help me. So that was all of my projects, and I have no yarn acquisitions because I'm on a yarn ban right now. I have so much yarn in my stash, and I actually have projects in mind for almost all of it. So I have no reason to buy any yarn, and that's what I'm telling myself. I just can't buy any yarn because I have no reason for it, and I can't afford to. So until I get through some of these projects that I have in mind, yeah, I'm on a yarn ban. At least for the month of December, but it might continue into January if I still have so many good possibilities for projects sitting in front of me. Alright, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching.